Hi YouTube world, welcome back to my channel. This is just a quick hi. I am sitting on the floor of my very messy bedroom. I think you're seeing things you've never even seen before. And yeah, I'm sitting on the floor because I'm going to be doing an eyeshadow declutter, which I hate. I hate having to get rid of eyeshadows because I really love eyeshadows. But what happens is I just amass too much, and then I forget to use them because when I open my drawer, I'm so overwhelmed by what is there that I just then kind of go for either the most boring palette, or I just pull out one palette and I just like dedicate myself to that palette and I never look at any of my other palettes. So I don't want to do that anymore. I want to spend this year enjoying what I have and playing with makeup. So if you're interested in seeing how it went, I think I did a good job. I did this, I'm filming this after I did everything, so I feel like I did a pretty good job considering where I started. So if that interests you, please stay tuned. Hi everyone. So this is going to be a shadow declutter, an eyeshadow palette declutter, because I'm not decluttering my singles, but I do want to show my singles because that's part of the reason why I will be decluttering some palettes. I love eyeshadow palettes, I love color, but I don't get around to using them as much as I want to, and I don't want them to just sit here and collect dust. This is the only drawer I have of palettes. I don't want my collection to ever exceed this drawer, and right now this drawer is so full it can't even close. So that is not a good sign to me. Throughout this upcoming year, I have a goal to use every single one of my palettes at least for a week at a time. I'm thinking I have less than what that would require for the full week. So that will allow for me to really familiarize myself with the palette and decide maybe at the end of the year what else I need to declutter. So this is going to be sort of my first pass of declutter. It's maybe not going to be too exciting, but at least you'll get to see my collection and comment on what you like, what you want to see, like 1 week, one palette on first, all that good stuff, because I think that's where I'm going to be going with this. So let me make some space in this and let's get started. Okay, so first thing, let me just show you very quickly. I'm not going to do a swatch video today on it or anything like that, but I do want to show you my collection of just Sydney Grace shadows so that you understand at least where I'm coming from. I have them all organized by color families. Here is my pinks. This is what she would categorize on her site as pinks and reds. This is my collection of pinks and reds. Here is my collection of purples and mauves. These are my favorite shadow formulas. This is orange and yellows. So I have amassed quite a collection of it and I want to use it. These are matte blue and greens. These are blacks, browns, creams, grays. And last but not least, the metallic greens and blues. So this is my favorite eyeshadow formulation. I know that. And so knowing that allows for me to realize that as I'm decluttering things, I'm not really decluttering them. They're just because I have them in my collection. I just need to learn how to use my collection of singles to duplicate, you know, what is so special about a certain palette. That being said, I do like to use palettes because it's sort of all curated already for me, and it's pretty. And there are other formulas that I do like too. And so you're going to see a lot of the same brand and just a lot of palettes from that same brand, because I do have a very particular taste when it comes to like brands. Another single eyeshadow that I love is Cliona Shadows. These are the best metallics and multi-chromes I've ever encountered, and so I have a palette of just that. I also have a palette of shadows from Divina Cosmetics as well as Colored Rain, two other formulas that I really enjoy. So that's this palette here. And then I have a miscellaneous, and this is really full of ColourPop singles as well as ColourPop depotted shadows. I have some Terra Moon here, which are beautiful multi-chromes as well. And then I have some Luxie shadows. So that's, you know, I certainly have enough in my collection, I think, to duplicate a lot of the shadows that, I don't even know where to put this, that I really love. And so I'm going to just, let's turn this around for now. I am going to keep that in my mind as I go through these palettes. And so let's start off with Anastasia. I love the Anastasia formula. I know it's not for everyone, but I like the soft formula with the strong pigmentation. I have the Amorisi palette, which is pretty brand new to me, and I'm very excited to start using it. So I can't wait to do 1 week with this palette. I have the Sultry palette, again, very new to me as well. I had it once before, I decluttered it, and then I kind of regretted it. So I repurchased it when it became available this year. And I love these colors. Yeah, I don't know why I decluttered it initially. The Riviera has some of the prettiest shimmers in it and some really unusual mattes, which I like. So I'm looking forward to using this one. Spoiler alert on Anastasia, I'm not decluttering anything. The Subculture palette. This formula, actually, I have one from a batch where the formula was pretty good. It is some really unusual colors, some unusual mattes, grungy. I really like them, so I'm keeping that one. This is one that I want to play with. I want to dedicate a week to, because I think it's much more special than people give it credit for. This is the Carly Bible palette. I'm really looking forward to exploring this one. I feel like this is much more special than what people really kind of think. The Norvina palette, same thing. Love the shimmers, love the tone. I love the color schemes of Anastasia palettes, which this is why it's hard for me to think about getting rid of any of these, because I like being able to just travel with this, eventually travel again, or just pull it out and kind of get a vibe from it without having to pull out my singles. So I love the Jackie Aina palette. It's gorgeous. Gorgeous, some really unusual shades, and I love the depth of it. And so I love this palette too. So these are all the Anastasia that I have, and I'm keeping all of them. I have tried to depot Anastasia before. I had the Modern Renaissance. I depotted it. It was such a huge mistake because it really does crumble so easily. It's just not a good depotting sort of packaging, and it takes everything in me not to buy the Modern Renaissance again, because I really, really like that palette too. I might eventually get it back in my collection. So that's how my drawer is organized so far. So let's jump in and let's talk about maybe some items I will be decluttering. So these are all the Juvia's Place palettes I have in my collection. I did a 1 week, one palette with the Magic Mini, and thank God I did, because I feel like that really allowed for me to play with this and understand it. I am fair skinned, so this palette isn't necessarily made for me. None of these products are necessarily made for me per se, because it is made for deeper skin tones in mine. That being said, I found such beautiful, beautiful colors, beautiful shimmers. The matte formulations are lovely. I just had so much fun working with this. And so I'm glad I did the 1 week, one palette with this, because that's, you know, I feel like now a sense of ownership. I feel like, yes, I love this. I know what to do with you. So I am definitely keeping that one. As part of the bundle set though, I picked this one up as well, which is the Masquerade. And I've never really touched this. I think I swatched it. And although I like the colors in this, I feel like the colors that attract me most and make this most unique, which is like this blue, this sort of fuchsia, this teal, this green. I have this in my singles. And this is one of those situations where I would absolutely pull a special color or special shade over using a whole palette. So I think this one I'm good to declutter. This one here, the violets, I really like this palette. I love these small palettes. I mean, you see the rest are these kind of small palettes. They're just so cute, and I like being able to look at the packaging and know what color the scheme is. I don't have a lot of purple in my collection. Even when I look at my singles, I feel like there's room. When I look at my singles here and I look at, let me open it up so we can really compare. And although I do see some duplicates, there's some depth in this one that I don't have. This mid-tone purple is just brighter. This one's unique too. This one also is quite unique. So I do feel like this is a good palette for me, at least for now, and then we'll see. We'll see how I feel about it, but I do want to keep this one. This one is the Nubian Glow. This one I feel differently about. I don't really like that there's no level of depth here. And this is a really glittery shade. I think I just swatched this. I haven't really used it, but nothing about it is too special. So I'm willing to declutter this one. The Mauves also is one where I have a lot of these shades in my Sydney Grace shadows. I know I have a lot of these shades in my ColourPop, so it's not as special to me. I think that's true. Actually, maybe I'll put that in my maybe pile. The Sweet Pinks, this was such a great surprise. This one I actually got by accident. They sent me the wrong palette and I ended up loving it so much I kept it. Such unusual colors, bright, really, really vivid. Definitely a keeper. The Berries is one where similarly, this is something that I definitely have in ColourPop. I love the Wine and Only palette, and I feel like this, and let me pull already the Wine and Only palette. This one here, it just has a lot of the same kind of tones that I really love in it. It's missing this bright mid-tone, but I know I have that in other palettes and in Juvia's place. So yeah, I'm definitely keeping Wine and Only by ColourPop. I love it, and I don't need this. So that one's getting decluttered. This one is also a purpley one. Again, I just think these colors, there's just some differences here. I don't know that at the end of the year I will be keeping both of these, but for right now, I feel like these make a beautiful companion palette in the purple realm, and I want to explore purple with them. The chocolates, this is really pretty to look at, and I think I believe I've swatched everything, but I just haven't, this one I haven't used. It's just, I have a lot of these shades in a lot of different formulas, and so I don't really need this. And this one, surprisingly enough, this is the Taupes. I love this. I love this. This is such a pretty palette, and it's different than other palettes that I have in this color. There's some just real unusual kind of shades and how they sit on the eyes. Really, really pleasantly surprised with the Taupes palette. So I'm definitely keeping that one. And let me try to see on this one, what was the ColourPop palette I was thinking of that I would be keeping. I think honestly, there are some of the shades, there are some close shades to it. This type of topper shade I don't really need. I feel like I have enough of the purple. This one I have in my special shades with Cleona. So I think I can let this go. I think I can let this one go. And this Making Mauves by ColourPop, I'm not ready to let this one go yet. I like a lot of these shimmers. I love these sort of soft tones. So this one is still, I'm gonna be keeping this one. So these are ColourPops I'm keeping. Let's bring out the rest of my ColourPop to just make this real easy. Here are all my ColourPops. This is clearly outside of my Sydney Grace. I believe that ColourPop, I would say, is my favorite formulation, which is sort of crazy, but I just, not only the price point is it right, I love the variety, I love a lot of the concepts behind the brand and their palettes, and I just, yeah, I really enjoy a lot of the formulation. Not all of it is perfect, but for like what you're getting, it's like, wow, I really, really enjoy it. So yeah, I do have a lot though, and I also want to make room, because if I'm ever attracted to a new palette, I want to be able to get it and play with it. So this is one of my newer additions. This is the Blue Moon. I don't have a lot of these blues in my singles, and so this is why I finally got this palette. I've barely touched it. I want to use it more and experiment with it. So that's the Blue Moon. This Baroque palette, I have mixed feelings about it. The sort of darkness of it ends up kind of creating very similar looks. It's all very, very, very dark. However, there are these two shades, Ritzy and Noble, and I think Noble is more my favorite, that have this oil slick look to them that I love, and I will swatch them because I feel like these are the special shades. They're very similar. They're like kind of duochromes that have this just like yeah, oil slick feel, but they're very, very similar to one another. And I don't know, this lighting probably isn't going to do it justice, but I'm keeping that for these shades, believe it or not. I don't mind having this light gray too, but it's not my favorite palette. And if I do end up finding a match somewhere in my collection for these shades, I would probably declutter this one. She's got Solstice. I think this is one of ColourPop's best palettes, really underrated, I feel. It is so beautiful if you love those peach tones. I think it's much prettier than the Baby Got Peach or even the Sweet Talk palette. There's just something about this one. It has good level of depth. It has these beautiful shimmers. I love this palette, and I think, again, just really, really underrated. This one here, the Sandstone, I haven't played with it enough. I love the aesthetic of this Arizona, New Mexico feel. I really like it. A lot of these shades are mattes with that micro glitter, and so I don't know how I yet feel about it, but any look I've created with it has been really, really pretty. They're kind of warm, sandy colors with really pretty pops. So for right now, I'm gonna keep this and I'm gonna just continue to play with it. I think this one is gonna really be valuable in that 1 week, one shadow type of format. Through My Eyes, this one I just recently got, and I had wanted for a really, really long time. And though this is a beautiful color scheme, I have all of these colors somewhere else, and I don't need it in this palette. I think this was a regret, basically. I purchased this, and I just, when I got it, I was like, it's okay, but I have just a lot of these shades. These are really nice, but I have them, in my singles and in other palettes. So I think I'm going to let this one go. This one here, So Jaded. So this one's gonna look a little different to people. These two colors are not original to this palette. These are, I believe, from My Little Pony, and I removed the pressed glitters in them and I put these shades in because I thought I would use it more that way. This is a really beautiful palette. The palette is just so large, I don't reach for it. It's very hard for me to remember that I have these colors and the shades this way. So as pretty as it is, and as much as I love this entire concept, I just have too much in my collection to gravitate towards something where it's going to require me to think too much. And that's what this palette does. I happen to still have the glitters, so I'm going to put those back in and declutter this properly. So this is the So Jaded palette. Beautiful palette. If you don't have a lot in your collection, it's definitely worth investing in because you get such really, I mean, just beautiful shades. Like this whole bottom row is stunning row. So yeah, and I barely use this, so yeah, it's gonna make someone very happy. Here, that's Taupe. I really love this palette as a neutral palette. I love this in conjunction too with the Going Coconuts palette. So that's this one here. This is much warmer. This is a little cooler. I feel like I have a lot of basics here to kind of get me through a lot of days, and yet there's just some beautiful shimmers also. So I like these both in conjunction with one another. This one's unusual. This one, oh, I have two shades I have to bring back in. This was a palette I created to dupe the ABH Mario palette, and I saw a video by Just for Fun, Makeup Just for Fun, Amanda, and she did this, and so I basically mimicked it and tried to find as many of the shades and created it too, because I had always wanted the color scheme of the makeup for Mario. I have two of these floating around in my Sydney Grace shadows that I'll pop back in, but this is basically the ABH palette by Mario. I have to use it, and so I will dedicate a week to it too to see if I really love it. But there's some fun shades in here. Most of them are ColourPop, some are Anastasia singles, and some are Sydney Grace. So I'm actually going to put that back here because it's not like a true ColourPop palette. This one, it's my Sunshine. I thought I was gonna love this. I don't love it, and I have a lot of these colors singles. I love the packaging and everything, but yeah, I didn't love it as much as I thought I was going to. Palette I did love as much as I thought I was going to is the Star Wars Mandalorian. This one's beautiful. Just such unique palette, such unique green shades in it. I really love it. I want to use it more for sure. This is a pretty new addition, the Boudoir Noir, and I love it. I love this palette. It's so weird because it looks just so plain and kind of whatever, but it is not plain or whatever. When you put it on the eyes, it just, oh, so gorgeous. So gorgeous. So I can't wait to use this more. And it has a great mirror too, which doesn't always happen with ColourPop palettes. Another pretty new one to my collection is the All That palette. This one's really pretty. This one in conjunction with the Wine and Only palette kind of give me all the dark kind of reddish colors I need. I gotta play with this more. I like that it has a lot more lights versus the light shades and blending shades where the Wine and Only didn't have that. So looking forward to using this more. This one's pretty new. ColourPop had a big sale at the end of last year, and that is when I picked up that palette and the Blue Moon and some others, and so that's where I'm at. This one's beautiful. This is the Raw Beauty Christie collaboration. Again, have to use it more, but what I've done with it so far is really nice. I love the mattes in this, really pigmented. You do have to work with it a little bit. You know, I don't know that this is exactly beginner friendly because this is a lot of pigmentation and it can go too dark too fast, but if you work little by little, you can get some really beautiful looks. So I'm looking forward to kind of dedicating a week to that one as well. This is an oldie, but a goodie, but I think I'm ready to let it go. This is the Night Owl palette. It's beautiful. It is a lot of these kind of warm shades with some metallics, a color shock shadow. It's really pretty. I'm not giving it the love it needs, and I feel like I have these colors now many times over. And I love owls. That's really why I bought this and why I might keep it, but I'm not gonna keep it. I'm gonna let it go. This one, so many people said that this was a great palette, and so that's why I purchased it, and I immediately regretted it. It's not that fantastic for me, not for my undertone, not for me. So I'm gonna let this one go. And the last one, you know, I've created a real pretty look or two with this. I like it, but I feel like a lot of these shades I have in other palettes. I have these in the Juvia's Place palettes. I just have a lot of these shades, and as much as I love the packaging on the Garden Variety, and again, maybe if I didn't have such a big collection, for me, it's a big collection. I know I don't have like the most massive collection on the versus those on YouTube, but for me, I have enough and I don't really need this. But it is very, very pretty, very, very pretty, especially that you get this nice purple look. You can get a peach look. You can get a nice brown look with some gold. This gold is beautiful. And then you could get a lot of depth with this shade here. It is a really nice palette, and this pop of green is really nice. So it is a nice palette. If you don't have a lot from ColourPop and you're looking for like a starter palette, I think this is a pretty nice one to see. And I think the formulation was pretty on point with that one as well. Well, I have my two Sydney Grace palettes. These are not going anywhere. I have the Enduring Love palette. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. Oh gosh, I don't even know how to show this. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous palette. If you love neutrals and has a couple of pops of color as well, you get her great shimmer formulation. It's a great, great palette. So I love that. And the Tiny Marvels palette, also gorgeous. Much more approachable than I think the photographs show it as. And it still has some really cool shades too. This is another great kind of starter palette if you're looking to explore Sydney Grace and don't know where to start. So definitely keeping those. A recent addition is the Club Nebula palette. I will insert, yeah, you know what? I'm going to insert a photo of some looks that I did right here. This palette is gorgeous. Gorgeous. I have never used Kaledos eyeshadows before, and I was so immensely impressed. These are gorgeous, and all of these topper shades are just crystally and beautiful and shimmery and buildable, but not like completely saturated. What's saturated are all these wonderful matte colors, and it's so creamy. It reminds me of the Natasha Denona, you know, matte formula. This is really, really impressive. Really impressive. And so happy that I got this. This was the collaboration with Angelica Nyquist, who is an amazing YouTuber and who I love, and I wanted to just support her, obviously, but I'm just so happy that I actually adore the palette. Palette that I really love is the Lorac Original Pro. I don't love all of the other ones. I don't love the 2, the 3, the 4, the 5, the Mega, the new ones. I love this one. This one is great. This still is great, and it just creates the best everyday looks, and I love the formulation. I really adore this palette. So yeah, definitely. I mean, look, I put a heart on it. That's how much I love it. I put a heart on it to indicate to me never let you go. Never let you go. From BoxyCharm, I have not touched it. It is the Nostalgia palette by Ace Beauté. This is it here. Really gorgeous, super vibrant colors. But again, I don't think I'm going to be using it. so I'm not gonna touch it. And I have the outer box too, and I'm just gonna probably list it on my Poshmark. This one here is the Tati Beauty palette. This palette is so beautiful. It is still gorgeous. It is as gorgeous as it was on day one. The mattes are gorgeous. The shimmers with the sparkle are really pretty if you know how to work with them. The shimmers are pretty. Even the frickin' glitters, which I'm not even a glitter fan, are pretty. And I love it. I go through phases of just using this every day. It's such a weighty palette. It's so classy. Like, this palette is so classy, so expensive. Makes me so sad that whatever the hell is happening over there in her life is happening, because regardless of the whole external world, she was such a wonderful contributor to YouTube. Her content was spot on. She was, you know, she did not mince words with reviews. I really liked just having her opinion, and she just had access to so much. So it was just it was a great YouTube source for me, her channel. And, you know, and she was, she loved her sisters, and I'm such a sisters gal. And I don't know, I really liked her. I felt like she was a bit misunderstood, but that's just me. That's just my opinion. Keeping my opinion, you know, honoring my opinion. Anastasia Denona. I'm gonna keep all of these. I love them all. These are the Gold Mini, Retro Mini, Zendo Mini, Tropic Mini, and then this one that she did for BoxyCharm, I really liked as well. So I love all of these. This Tropic one, this is probably my least favorite, actually. I don't think all the shadows perform the same, but I don't want to get rid of it, because I do think, you know, I mean, it's good enough for what I would use it for, and I want to use it more. So definitely going to keep all of these. And then this one I got for Christmas from my mama. Got the Love palette. I've been using it. I really enjoy it. This is another reason why I'm not afraid to get rid of some of the Juvia's Place palettes, because I have this one and it has a lot of really great shades, and I love this tone. I did not expect to love the sort of reddish purplyish tone. I thought it would look quite sickly, but for some reason it doesn't, not on me. So I've really been enjoying it for sure. Let's see, what else do I have? I have some small palettes. Oh, here. So I have the Nabla Side by Side palette. It's this one here. I've been enjoying this. I have had a Nabla palette before, the Secret Garden, I think, palette, and I did not like it. But this one I do like. I do like the formulation, and it's a nice nude. The shimmers are beautiful. It's a good neutral palette, so I'm gonna keep it for now. I really like it. This is a new addition. I got this because people said, oh, this is like the Aspen Ovard, and even though I had the Aspen Ovard and I sold it, I missed some of the shades in it, and then I just never found it to be having enough depth. Well, I used this a little bit, and I gotta say, I disagree. I don't think the formula is the same as some of their other palettes, and I'm not smitten with it. So this is a product regret of mine, for sure. So I'm going to be selling this probably on my Poshmark, because yeah, it wasn't for me. It wasn't for me. I think I used it once and I swatched a couple of colors and I just realized, no, this is not why I like Tarte. You know, Tarte for me is similar to Anastasia in their formulation of their palettes. In fact, here's one, the In Bloom, which I do like. The one thing about Tarte in general, especially with these Tarte lip palettes, is the shade mixes with your skin oils on your eyes and can create a much darker shade than what is in the pan. And I do think that's something about their formula, but I do like it. I do like it. I love the scent. It's like a soft vanilla scent. So I'm definitely keeping the In Bloom, but decluttering that new one of theirs. Let's see, another ABH I have that's a mini. It's a mini Norvina palette. This one I love. I waited a long time to get this. I love the retro vibe of it. And this one has some real fun, vibrant shades that I hope to use. And I love this topper shade. Like, this is like a one and done shade. It's this real pretty goldy color. Like, I don't even know how to describe it. It has a peach, it has a orange, and it has a gold. It just has a cool shift. So that just all over the eye is beautiful. This is a beautiful shimmer. Yeah, I just really love this palette and super unique. So that was a surprise. I didn't expect to love that one as much as I did. These are from Alamar Cosmetics. I got this one, the Spanglish. This is also a real beautiful, beautiful palette. The shimmers are really nice. These mattes are nice. I love supporting this brand. They just remind me of home. Being they're a Miami brand. I'm originally from Miami, so it just speaks to me on a different level. And then I also have their Reina del Caribe Volume 1. Again, really pretty. These shimmer shades are gorgeous. I definitely want to use both of these more, but yeah, this is one where I like the brand's ethos. I want to support the brand. I'm going to keep supporting that brand. And then I have a couple of small palettes. I have this Lorac mini palette. I love this to like have in your bag or something. When I start to go back to work physically, I just like having something in case I'm gonna go out unexpectedly. This is like a great little palette. I got this for free when I ordered something at Ulta, and I just loved it. I was like, why doesn't Lorac make more of these like little palettes? And these are actual shades from their larger palettes, which I appreciate. And then I have two Charlotte Tilbury products. And look, Charlotte Tilbury, I think, makes some beautiful products. Lots of beautiful face products, lots of beautiful lip products. I don't think eyeshadow is her jam, and she keeps coming out with them. I do like her eyes to mesmerize, and I've wanted to try her chameleon eyes, but when it comes to the powder, it's okay. That being said, I have two. I have this green one, which was the original Rebel. So this is the darker green one. She reformulated it and made it more kind of army, kind of dingy green. I much prefer this emerald green. So I have this one. I gotta use it more. And then I have Pillow Talk, which again, lots of people saying how important and special this is. It's nice, but I have this 10 times over. And in fact, like as I say that, I'm just like, do I really want to keep these? You know what? I think I'm going to see if I have all of these greens matched. But I think I'm going to play, and I'm going to keep these for right now, but I am going to go through my Sydney Gray single shadows and kind of create little quads like this and see if I can. If I can, I'm going to declutter these. So that was my eyeshadow drawer declutter, and also kind of like a walkthrough of my collection. I'll organize this and stuff, but for right now, this is sort of it. Let's see how many I decluttered. So I decluttered 13 palettes. I think that's pretty good. And let's see how many I have. And I have 40 palettes. That does not include my single shadows, but I did include this one, which is the ABH Mario kind of dupe palette. So yeah, I have 40 palettes and I decluttered 13. I think that's pretty good for my collection. Again, I'm anticipating I will do another declutter of these towards the end of the year, or maybe I will declutter along the way. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm certainly going to dedicate myself to doing 1 week, one look with each of these palettes to ensure that I am getting my money's worth for sure. And so, yeah, let me know your thoughts. Let me know what palettes you absolutely love in this collection. What do you think I'm missing? I definitely have a wish list of palettes for sure. So, you know, sound off. Let me know what you think, and we'll talk soon. All right, bye.